Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Liana Zavo. She's a PR expert, CEO of ZavoMedia PR Group, speaker, and Forbes thought leader, has over a decade of experience in the field of public relations. Welcome to the show, Liana.
Thank you so much, AJ, for having me.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form, Liana. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. Talk about how one can master personal branding for success. We'll talk in this backdrop. But before that, Liana, if you can take us a bit about through your journey, your background, so that the audience knows who they are listening to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm based in New York City, so I'm super excited to share my wealth of knowledge about personal branding, about PR, and what I have accomplished thus far as a founder and CEO of ZavoMedia PR Group. I've been in the industry for 20 years, and the most important thing about branding yourself is to make sure you're seen and you're heard. I've been doing that since I was a little girl. I love telling stories. I'm second generation journalist, and my grandmother was a journalist in Russia. So it's ingrained in me. Storytelling is something that I love to do. And I know that it helps people to elevate their presence. And I just do it because it makes me happy. At the end of the day, you have to love what you do. So taking me through this journey of, as a young child, I knew that I wanted to do something I really loved, but I was swayed. And so no matter how many ways I was swayed, I still came back to what I truly is what I'm meant to do, which is tell stories, uplift personalities.
Absolutely, absolutely, Liana. So, for a PR person, what is the work nowadays? You see, why I'm telling this is a client will say, listen, everything has gone online, so I can reach out to those same people online. Now you don't need to do those visits. Secondly, all the content, I can also produce it. I can keep an intern. The intern will all produce all the content out of Chat GPT, Perplexity, Claude, or anything, even DeepSeek. Why do I need? So, how does a PR person justify his or her work in today's time? What is it that PR people will say, okay, this is our USP, this you can't get anywhere else?
Yeah, personal brand is so important no matter if you're online. I mean, you have to double down. Online is the most crucial pointer right now is you need to make sure you're trending online authentically. ChatGPT just adds to your presence and you want that. Everything that is happening technologically and being advanced, we all need that in order to advance our personal brand. And so this is the time to do it. This is the time to kickstart your brand. You are online, people are Googling you. So it's statistically proven 82% of people will Google you before doing any type of work with you, before stepping foot in your location, before even signing a contract or even giving you a phone call. So they will Google you before doing any of that. It's such an important factor to do PR because they will want to know who they're dealing with, and authenticity shines brighter than ever right now. We want to tell our story authentically, and you want to be transparent about who you are. That will never die out, no matter what comes, no matter ChatGPT, no matter what other technology comes through. You want to have the two most important factors of personal branding, which is authenticity, transparency, and the third one is consistency. You want to be consistent with everything that you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. So why does authenticity and storytelling, true storytelling, take so much of an effort? And where does it come? Because it looks like a lot of polishing is required. Now, polishing or something else is required. Help us understand how much is okay, how much is not okay in today's time. Because people are also smart; they can see through things. There is this whole debate of do not look so much sophisticated that people start disbelieving you. Be yourself, make your images be as real as possible and not either filtered or used of other things. In terms of storytelling also, how much, what is your advice to your clients in such a thing nowadays?
Yeah, I love that question. So, AJ, I would highly say that storytelling loves authenticity because you want to unleash your story. You want to tell your story authentically. Do not hold back. Because, as you said, people can feel you, your voice, the tonality. You want to make sure that when you're speaking about your brand, you are as authentic as possible because guess what? That will translate into how you will be perceived on a broader scale. Your professional brand stems from storytelling as well. So, how professional you are. I read about you before I came on this podcast. I made sure that we are aligned, and we are. So, if we weren't aligned, I would probably not, be on the same page with you. So, the fact that you have your story as well, I said, you know what, I will love to speak with you because we are on the same page. So, for you to get the most opportunities, career opportunities, you must be real with the audience. Storytelling is so important. Unleash that story within you. Say who you are. Give expert advice. Become a thought leader in your space. What does storytelling do for professionals? It helps you become a storyteller in a way that makes you also a thought leader, right? Why are you a subject matter expert? Because you are so well known in your industry. People come to you for advice. You're not an influencer, but you are an expert in what you do. So there's a huge difference between influencers and thought leaders. And the most important difference is that influencers don't tell their story the way subject matter experts do. So that is the most important thing with storytelling is be authentic, and they know that that's the biggest difference between storytelling with for experts and influencers, because we must come above. People don't want influencers. They want the real deal. They want to know what you're doing, who you're selling to, and why you do what you do, not because you're being paid for it.
Absolutely, absolutely, Liana. So, for a lot of people, you see either single person operation, several people operation, and even in terms of your business, people generally, when they talk about personal branding, they also start thinking almost like a influencer. What would you tell them about this particular aspect? They start thinking, okay, beyond the personal branding, I should look like much more colorful, much more have a wider influence. How do you tell them that you don't have to become an influencer? You have to extend and do it in the form of personal branding. What is your take on this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say find your voice. Who are you and what is your voice? Sound to your audience. You don't want to sound like someone else. You don't want to choose someone that you want to sound like, because that in itself will be evident, right? People, it's a really social media is a very small world. We all know each other. So no matter how far you are, right? We all know that if you don't sound authentic to your voice, then you lose credibility. And you don't want to lose credibility in this world of storytelling, the world of personal branding. It's going to be very hard to bring back that trust with your audience. And that's the most important thing. You don't want to lose trust with your audience. Once you lose trust, guess what? You're going to have a crisis, and then you'll have to manage that crisis. And you don't want to get into a whole new, I guess, layer of that. What you need to do the right way is choose who you are, look at who you are trying to influence as a founder in the most authentic way so that you can bring them the most value. The most important thing about social media, right, is the value you bring to your audience, why you do what you do, and who are you going to impact. What type of difference are you going to make in those people's lives, executives, founders? How are they looking up to you? For example, I'm hosting an event on March 12th, and I know that I'm going to have panelists who are executives, founders coming to speak at my summit. It's an amazing event that I host every couple of months. So if you're in New York, please do come by. It's an incredible place to be. And my audience consists of founders and executives and professionals who want to listen to these thought leaders who are making an impact, who are thought leaders in their space, and who will give them insights as to how they have, you know, I guess, disrupted their industry. And so it's important to stay true to your voice and don't be just someone else, because you want to be unique. You want to stand out. No matter how difficult it is, you have to do it now, because then it's going to just get harder, because you can't fake it. You have to be it in order to become it.
Absolutely. So, talking of authenticity, Liana, if someone says, okay, uh, I will be authentic, but you are into a professional sort of a thing, you are into a product or service which is different than what you are. Suppose a man is not drinking and his product is related to a alcohol. Now, should he go out and say that, listen, I don't drink, but I encourage you to drink? This particular product is good. How do you balance authenticity with professional branding, Liana?
Messaging, you have to balance the messaging. What are you trying to portray to the audience? If you're not a drinker and you want to portray yourself as and you're promoting this product because it's paying you, well, there's going to be a discrepancy. Let's bring into an example J-Lo, right? J-Lo always has positioned herself that she never drank. There was never alcohol, something that she liked to do. All of a sudden, she comes up with this whole new line of Dola. And we were all started questioning her. What happened? I thought you're not a drinker. I thought that you don't like alcohol, you don't stand behind it. So that was a discrepancy, which she lost a lot of authenticity in her personal and professional brand. And everything else that she did, we started questioning. Well, is that really authentic, or she's just trying to do it for the audience, or she's really trying to do it just to expand her brand and to be relevant? You don't want to be relevant on that level. And that is the biggest problem with a lot of people. They want us to have relevance in the wrong way, right? So try to find relevance in the most authentic way. Don't be the next J-Lo.
Absolutely, absolutely, Liana. Now, a lot of people are there into this in terms of their career. They also want to build a personal brand so that they get more opportunities in their career. Businesses are different. How do I create a branding for myself as a professional? What's the best way? Do I align myself with any particular brand that I'm working at the present, that tomorrow it becomes difficult for me to transition to another industry? What is your advice on using personal branding for career success?
Using personal branding for career success is so important. The statistics prove that you're more successful. 76% of professionals that use personal branding in their storytelling are more successful for career opportunities. Why is that? Because they are not afraid to use their narrative to showcase who they are. So when you are creating a podcast, a book, if you're writing a book, or even articles, blogs, buying a domain with your first and last name, for example, when you're creating that is career success. Because what happens is, when I Google you, I want to know what shows up. LinkedIn is great, social media is great, but what about your personal things that actually make you stand out, which is your social proof, as seen on? How are you seen in the public eye online? Your reputation matters. And so that's what we do as well, right? As a PR agency, we build your reputation, and building your reputation is so important because you want to make sure that your story speaks for who you are, and in a very authentic way. And this is how you're going to have more career opportunities. People will start knocking on your door. Hey, you want to do a podcast on my show? You want to endorse my book? You want to do a keynote speaking engagement? There's so many career opportunities that come out from personal branding if you position yourself in the right way. And plus, AJ, I have this 21-day personal branding challenge that I do every month. It's been such a success. I host this either one-on-one, or I do this with my, with 50 people. And so what we do is, there's a challenge. I make sure that I challenge you for 21 days. how to kickstart your brand. And I thought I'd just do it in January, but the demand was so high that I said, you know what, I need to continue doing this because I want to help as many founders, as many professionals, because not everybody knows how to use their messaging. Especially, I found out that a lot of attorneys and medical professionals don't know how to use the opportunity for them to use personal branding for career advancements, because attorneys want to get more speaking opportunities. They want to be more in the limelight. They want to showcase their expertise because that is going to add more to their credibility as a subject matter expert.
Absolutely. Good you mentioned. I was about to come to this 21-day journey to visibility and impact. So I want to understand, in 21 days, is it possible to create a full spectrum of things for anyone to, gain this whole visibility and impact? How do you do that? Tell us about this particular program. Is it only, I thought brand building, image building, all these things are a bit of things of patience and it takes a bit of time. It's just like SEO. It takes time for it to all settle down.
You know what? It does. And I'm not going to tell you that in 21 days, you're going to have everything to your personal brand, but it will kickstart your brand. Because what is the biggest problem, AJ, that a lot of founders have? Time. They don't have the time. They don't have the patience, maybe. But when I put them in a challenge, right, it psychologically tells them they must do it because it is better than nothing. It makes them understand the importance of what it is to actually put their messaging together. And what I've seen for 21 days is that a lot of founders have dedicated their time. They started understanding their messaging. And that is the most important factor, is they want to understand how to position themselves. And they want someone like me, a mentor, a coach, a storytelling coach, who can hold their hand and say, you know what, that is exactly the way you should go in that route. And that is how you have to position yourself. You know what, your personal brand is always evolving. If you look at me, say 3 years ago, I was not the same person I am today. I am always evolving. My personal brand has more layers because I want to influence more people around the world. That is my mission. And so you can never say that your personal brand is going to be the same. No, you're going to add layers to it, but you have to start somewhere. And so this personal branding challenge is going to help you to start. And you have me, you have me in your corner, and it is something that is, you can't put a price tag on that.
Absolutely, absolutely, Liana. One last thing I want to understand is there are several people, several clients, individuals who are experts, who are founders, who know about what they do, but are either introvert or are a bit shy of talking about themselves, going out there and build their personal brand. What do you advise such clients? What would you tell such clients who would be listening to your voice on this podcast?
And that is exactly what this personal branding challenge is, for those who are shy to talk about their story or don't know how to even start. So it's also mindset, right? 80% is mindset in this type of business. We need to make sure that your mindset is aligned with your storytelling. So it all stems from the within you. Everything has to be with the most foundation. I take the holistic approach, AJ, to everything that I do. I make sure you have that foundation of how to approach your personal brand. You need to be ready for it. And so you can't be ready on your own. You need someone like me who can prepare you for this and who can actually walk you through the steps to tell you, you are ready to do this. And why are you ready? And I will make sure that the bricks are all laid out for you. So, you know what? This personal branding challenge, again, that you mentioned, if you're shy, this is for you. You're shy to tell your story as a founder, as an executive, as a professional, then you must have this challenge because it's just going to propel you forward. So, and you don't be shy. Don't be shy to tell your story, because at the end of the day, if you don't hold your pen, right? If you don't become the author of your story, then you'll have someone else control your story. Do you want someone else to control your story? Do you want someone else to speak for you? No, you want to be the author of your story. You want to hold the pen and you want to be in control. That's just my take.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's much to learn from you, Liana, about all these things. And I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of founders, a lot of people who would need your advice would want to connect with you. What's the best way for them to do so?
Absolutely. They can reach out to me via social media at ZavoMedia PR. It's ZAVO Media PR. You can have our Calendly link there. You can schedule your consultation with us. I give you a free consultation, 15, 20 minutes, give you an audit on your personal branding, on your online reputation, and we go from there. And then if you want to go, and there's another link to personal branding, it's $2,500, AJ, but it's the best investment for them to understand and get a taste of what it is to position themselves. Or they can just hop on Eventbrite, Google me, Liana Zavo, and I have all the different courses that I provide for my clients.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, India. I love it. AJ, thanks so much for your time. Namaste.